Mr. Cleaver, 35.
Cleaver, could you please tell us what it means to be married to Eldridge?
Well, the first thing I'd like to say is that to me it's miraculous that I'm still Eldridge's wife instead of Eldridge's widow. There was nothing but luck that stopped him from being killed, and I'm just delighted that he's still alive. Also, he's in the penitentiary, so that means I am completely separated from him. So being his wife to me is like, well, it's like my soul is in jail because he's in jail, and the main thing I will be doing in terms of the party and in terms of organizing will be focused on getting him out of jails so that we can continue to live our life together. We were married, we met each other, we've known each other almost exactly a year before he was shot. In fact, I remember the first letter I ever wrote to Eldridge after I met him was exactly a year to the day of the day that he was shot. And it was just the most ecstatic, total, complete, beautiful relationship I could ever conceive of two people having. Eldridge, to me, is a political and an artistic genius. He is, in many ways, a combination of the talents of Malcolm X, Frantz Fanon, and Richard Wright with a hoodlum touch. Being here by myself now, I'm fully aware that I'm a target of the Oakland police, the federal police, the CIA police. And that doesn't make me feel very comfortable, but I also know that my brothers in the Black Panther Party will protect me, and I'll be in a position to protect myself. I'm not worried. I have never worried about anything ever since I've met Eldridge. He was on parole. His situation was more precarious than you can possibly imagine, having just been released from spending 10 years in jail, during which time he wrote Soul on Ice and many, many other things. And I watched him from the time I first knew him till the day before he was shot begin to open up and grow and become complete and gain his own identity. For you understand, in the prison, in the penitentiary, everything is designed to destroy completely any form of identity that you might have. And it was just through the process of fighting constantly, all the time, fighting this process, this degradation, and organizing politically and struggling against the prison system that he maintained his strength. Eldridge is the strongest person I've ever come across, the strongest man. I'm convinced that he's indestructible.
Now that you're his voice and his identity, can you give us some examples of what's being done to you directly, since he is no longer in public by the police?
Well, to me, directly so far, nothing has been directly against me personally, to my knowledge. Of course, my phone has been tapped for a long time. I have to take precautions that I guess this is what's being done to me directly, that I know that I cannot go anywhere or be anywhere alone, that I'm trailed, that my phone is tapped, that my movements are calculated. The rallies that I speak out, the last time I spoke at the memorial rally for Bobby Hutton on Merritt Park, there were policemen with shotguns top of all the buildings, infiltrating in the crowd all over. I'm surrounded with guns. When I was expected at the airport today, but I had changed the schedule, I would have been met by policemen. When I came into this school today to speak, police car was trailing and watching. There are police everywhere. There's an atmosphere of constant surveillance and harassment and intimidation. But I mean, that's a constant. When Eldridge and I were living together, his being on parole meant that the police, the state, had perfect right to enter into his home at any time and arrest him, search him. He has no privacy and no rights, which meant I had no privacy and no rights, and I had to live in this very same atmosphere. But and he never allowed that to interfere or stop anything that we ever tried or wanted to do, and we had a very beautiful life because we were fighting, and we know we're going to win.
You said that he attempted to establish contact through the United Nations on the same line that Malcolm X had. Are you continuing this work?
Yes, I'm continuing everything. We've made contact with many black African ambassadors in the UN, and through our Minister of Foreign Affairs in the Black Panther Party, Mr. James Foreman, who's also a deep personal friend of mine, and my former director when I was working in SNCC, is maintaining this contact. My role was mainly to assist and help in the things that Eldridge was doing, and he was providing the direction, which he still can do.
Do you have any faith in depth that the white community will wake up and come alive and combat this force?
I didn't when I first came to California, but Eldridge does, as would be understood by anyone that had read Soul and Ice. He has a very profound and deep conviction and compassion for humanity and people, which is ironic for someone that spent so much time at the hands of the most barbarous, sadistic type of people on the face of the earth, prison officials. But by being around him and watching him and understanding how he thinks, I think there is I would say this, that the battle in its final analysis would be between the human beings and the racists, such as Eldridge thinks. And I think it's possible to pull a certain number of human beings out of the morass of this racist, fascist camp onto our side. I think one of the finest examples of that is the attorney, Charles R. Gary, that's handling Huey Newton's case.
Mrs. Cleaver, 36.
My husband and I were very involved in organizing demonstrations at the Alameda County Courthouse in support of Huey Newton on the 3 a.m. in the morning of January 16th, right after he had just come in. Our front door was kicked in by two Gestapo bearing guns out in the open, who immediately went to the back door and let in two of their other Gestapo who had been guarding the back door with shotguns, and the four of them came and searched the house and walked around and acted nasty, intimidated us for about 45 minutes, and then they called in two more street policemen to give an explanation of this Gestapo action, that they were looking for some stolen furniture in the van, and the two men that came out of it, my husband and his friend Emory Douglas, matched the description. We took this as nothing more than a warning that they were aware of what we were doing and trying to frighten us.